Matthew 6:33 says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." This verse seems pretty straightforward, and it is one many Christians know by heart. But in all my years as a Christian, I didn't understand it the way I do now as an ecoloctorialist. As a person who studies the environment of light, I have truly discovered how important this verse is. It's the verse that lays the foundation for success for everything we do in life. And it works regardless of what your religious associations are, because it need only a few minor semantic changes to fit other religions or no religion at all. Did you notice the first part of the verse, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God"? In Christian circles, that often gets translated into "seek Jesus." "Oh, honey, I know this is hard. Just seek Jesus. That's where the answers are." And so people go seeking Jesus. That verse didn't mention Jesus at all. That verse mentioned the kingdom of God. And do you know where Jesus taught that could be found? Yep, inside. The only place we're going to find the kingdom of God is within ourselves. We can't find it in a church. We can't find it in the sky. We cannot even find it in another realm. It's in one place, inside ourselves. Did you hear the next part of that verse? And his righteousness? What is God's righteousness? I went to my friend Noah Manor, a Jewish scholar from Haifa, Israel, and asked what the Jewish understanding was of God's righteousness. He is currently working on a phenomenal book that details, among other things, how God was personified. In response to my question, he pointed out how this is one of the examples of God being given human characteristics. He said this verse, with the phrase "the kingdom of God" and the phrase "his righteousness," were both directing us to look within. The question then becomes, how can we find God's righteousness within ourselves? What do we look for? And the answer is simple. As Jesus repeatedly said, we are one with God. So not only is the kingdom of God within us, the righteousness we are seeking is too, and we are only going to find them by looking at that which is the very fabric of our humanity, the substance from which we are made. I'm not going into the details of how to find that kingdom and righteousness in this video. There are so many wonderful teachers out there that will walk you through it. One I highly recommend is Rupert Spira, who uses the Vedanta and Tantric methods to go within to find God. 1 week of a daily meditation with Rupert and you will be changed. There is no doubt about that. It's not because Rupert has some magic method. It's because he has so honed going directly into the kingdom that he has the terminology to guide most people there. And this meditation practice is cumulative. So the more you do it, the more you uncover the truth about who you really are, one with God, and just where you can find that kingdom and righteousness. Instead of going into the methods, I want to point out a ridiculously good reason to do it. It's a reason that at the end of this video, I think you will agree is what makes Matthew 6:33 the single most important verse in the Bible. Ready? Have you ever noticed that you suck at predicting what is coming in your life? Or how about how bad you are at knowing what will make you happy? You're probably thinking, I know what I want and I'm pretty darn good at predicting what's coming. Or something like that. I'm going to show you the flip side that will get you saying, oh shit, you're right, I do suck at it. When you were 5, what is the thing you wanted to be when you grew up? Did you become it? By the time I was 3, I knew I was going to become a dentist. I not only did not become a dentist, I don't even have teeth now. How about when you were in high school? Did the things you thought you would always love doing end up being how you spent your free time? I loved cruising and listening to Tone Loc until 2 a.m. Now I like staying home and going to bed at 8 or 9 p.m. Let's get a little more current. Think back to 5 years ago. If someone had told you then that your life would look like it does right this minute, would you have believed them? I was certain my husband and I would be in an RV exploring the U.S. Instead, we're redecorating our home and haven't been out of Tennessee in 4 years. Oh, and we don't even have an RV. No matter the scenario, I could not come up with a single thing that was really what I expected it to be. Yet each thing has been far better than I imagined. And I can tell you, I attribute that to Matthew 6:33. As I sought to find out who God is, who I am, and how we are truly and honestly one, life has continued to get better and better. People teach the law of attraction, and while I can firmly state that the law of attraction does work, I can as clearly see that my ability to know what will really make me happy in the long term is really faulty. Really faulty. You could not have convinced me as I went to get married the first time that I was going to go through a very difficult marriage and be divorced with 2 little ones. And there is no way I would have believed I would marry a chess-playing, computer-programming introvert of a man and be happily married for nearly 30 years. I know my story isn't unique. So if we cannot even figure out what kind of person we would enjoy spending our lives with, how can we possibly think we have the wherewithal to choose the things we want to attract into our lives? If we give up the specifics about the things we want out of life, and we start seeking that which is within ourselves, the goodness there, and living from that heightened state of being, what ends up happening is that we vibrate at such a high state of perfection that wonderful good comes flooding in. We become the thing our heart truly desires to be. We do the things that bring us joy and fulfillment. We spend time with those who resonate with our souls, and we have an impact on the entire world that ripples in ever-widening circles. Or in other words, when we seek the kingdom of God and His righteousness, all these things really are added unto us, and they come with perfect ease.